All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Gudmala Kapoor. The headlines. Kerala floods claimed 14 more lives, taking the death toll to 210 in the last 10 days. Water in river starts receding. First commercial flight lands at the Kochi Naval Airport today. In Karnataka, over 3,500 people evacuated so far as rescue operations continue in Kodagu district. All-party prayer meeting for former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in New Delhi today. UPA policies to promote growth led to macroeconomic instability, says Union Minister Arun Jaitley. India successfully tests indigenously developed anti-tank guided missile Helena in Pokhran. Afghan President Ashraf Ghani announces 3-month provisional ceasefire with the Taliban to mark Eid festival. And in Asian Games, Indian wrestlers and shooters to vie for medals today. Men's hockey team to begin its campaign against Indonesia. The floods and rain claimed 14 more lives in Kerala today, taking the death toll in the last 10 days to 210. The maximum number of deaths have been reported from Idukki, where 43 people lost their lives. The National Crisis Management Committee, NCMC, has directed that the focus should now be on provision of emergency supplies of food, water, medicines, and restoration of essential services such as power, fuel, telecom, and transport links as the flood waters recede in the state. More from our correspondent.
As per official data, 39 people are still missing and 133 are injured. The rescue operation to save people stranded in Padanad, Chenganur, Tiruvalla, Upper Kuttanad, Pantalam and Aranmula are progressing efficiently, with interior parts of Chenganur getting more focus. 90% of people living in Upper Kuttanad have migrated to Alappuzha and Kottayam district since the area is underwater for several days. Water started receding from Ernakulam and rescuers are continuing works in Kaladi and Panayakulam. Efforts are on to airlift those marooned in Nelliyambadi, Palakkad. The water level in Periyar has been receding. Rivers including Meenachil, Manimala, Pamba and Achenkovil are overflowing. This is Shamila for AR News, Thiruvananthapuram.
The Department of Food and Public Distribution has made available 50,000 metric tons of food grain, rice and wheat to meet immediate requirements with additional quantities in the pipeline. The Department of Consumer Affairs has made arrangements to airlift 100 metric tons of pulses by today with additional quantities to be sent by train. Commercial flights begin operating from the Kochi Naval Base from today. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Ministry has made available 9,300 kilolitres of kerosene to Kerala. An additional 12,000 kilolitres of kerosene will be allocated. The LPG bottling plant in Kochi has been reopened. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will airlift 60 tons of emergency medicines today. It has put 6 specialized medical teams on standby. The railways will provide blankets and bed sheets to meet the immediate requirements of the state government. Air India has offered to airlift relief material without any cost. As many as 3 lakh food packets have been supplied by the Food Processing Ministry. The railways are running 2 special trains tomorrow to Kolkata from Thiruvananthapuram and Ernakulam to ensure travel of stranded people. In Karnataka, more than 3,500 people have been rescued in flood and landslide-affected Kodagu district. A joint operation was launched by the Dogra Regiment of the Indian Army and Karnataka Civil Defence Volunteers to rescue people stranded in Somwarpet in Kodagu yesterday. Revenue Minister R.V. Deshpande and Urban Development and Housing Minister U.T. Khadar visited Jodupala, where a massive landslide has caused extensive damage to property. They visited the relief camps and interacted with people affected by the floods and landslide. The Revenue Minister has assured them of providing assistance for rebuilding their houses. He has said that an amount of 100 crore rupees for Kodagu and 50 crore rupees for Dakshin Kannada districts have been released for rescue and relief measures. Union Minister Sadanand Gowda visited Sampaje, a border village between Kodagu and Dakshin Kannada. He informed that Jodupala has seen maximum damage due to rains, where almost 200 houses have been damaged. In view of the heavy to very heavy rainfall forecast for the next 48 hours, the Odisha government has asked district administrations to remain prepared. Special Relief Commissioner Bishnupad Sethi said collectors and revenue divisional commissioners have been put on alert in the wake of the heavy rains forecast. More from our correspondent.
The Indian Meteorological Department has predicted heavy rainfall in 17 districts and normal rainfall in 13 districts today. The state has recorded average rainfall of 14.2 mm, while some western Odisha districts like Sambalpur, Sonpur, Bargarh have received average rainfall of above 40 mm yesterday. The lone district Jajpur, however, has not received any rainfall in the last 24 hours. The state has witnessed a surplus rain of 9.8% between June 1st and August 19. SN Patnaik, AIR News, Sambalpur.
An all-party prayer meeting for former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee will be held in New Delhi today. It will be attended by leaders from different political parties and prominent citizens. Another such meeting will be organized in Lucknow on August the 23rd. The Lucknow prayer meeting will be attended by Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and Vajpayee's relatives, among others. One of the most charismatic leaders of independent India, Vajpayee passed away in New Delhi on Thursday at the age of 93. A rich tribute was paid to former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee through Kavyanjali, a poetry recitation at the 11th World Hindi Conference in Mauritius last night. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, Governor of Goa Mridula Sinha, West Bengal's Governor K. Srinath Tripathi and many ministers from India and Mauritius attended the Kavyanjali. Eminent poets from both countries paid homage to the former Prime Minister with their poems. Mr. Sushma Swaraj also recited a poem remembering Vajpayee.
यमुना तट टीले रेतीले, यमुना तट टीले रेतीले, घास फूस का घर छांदे पर, गोबर से लीपा आंगन है, तुलसी का चौड़ा घंटी स्वर, माँ के मुंह से रामायण के दोहे चौपाई रस घोलें, आओ मन की गांठें खोलें.
The three-day conference will conclude today. Union Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the policies of the UPA to promote growth led to macroeconomic instability. In a Facebook post, he said during the UPA regime, fiscal discipline was compromised and the banking system was advised to go in for reckless lending, withstanding the fact that it would eventually put the banks at risk. And yet, when the UPA moved out of power in 2014, the last three-year record, even in terms of growth, was less than modest. The policies of the UPA to promote growth led to macro instability, thus producing a poor quality of growth, he added. A debate is taking place over the National Statistical Commission NSC subcommittee's estimates of GDP growth series with a 2001-2012 base. The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its weekly bilingual live phone-in program Public Speak, will bring you a discussion tonight on Sadak Suraksha Jeevan Raksha. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at our handle AIR News Alerts. India has successfully flight tested the indigenously developed helicopter-launched anti-tank guided missile Helena from Pokhran in Rajasthan. A Defence Ministry release said the weapon system, tested for its full range, was released smoothly from the launch platform. The missile hit the target with high precision. The indigenously designed and developed guided bomb's smart anti-airfield weapon SAW was also successfully test-fired from an IAF aircraft at Chandan Range in Jaisalmer. To provide electricity connections to each and every village of the nation, the central government has launched the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana and the Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana Saubhagya schemes. In Uttar Pradesh, people in large numbers are being benefited by these two schemes, and electricity connections have made their lives easy. Here is a ground report from our Lucknow correspondent.
In Uttar Pradesh, villages without power facilities since independence have now got electricity connections under Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana. Under the scheme, many hamlets of village Tataura of Hardoi district have been electrified. One resident of the village, Ram Kumar, told AIR.
4 साल 5 साल हो गया मेरे लाइट नहीं थी. दीनदयाल ग्राम योजना के तहत लाइट आई है और इसमें फ्री कनेक्शन मिला है। इससे बहुत लाभ है, मतलब पढ़ने लिखने के लिए, रसोई और खाना बनाने के लिए सुविधा हुई है।
Another resident of village Phulmati said that after getting electricity, they are now saving the money which was used to buy kerosene earlier.
पहले अंधेरे में भी खाना बनाते रहे, अब बत्ती से खाना बनाया जाती, पढ़ने में बच्चों को सुविधा है और मिट्टी के तेल की जरूरत नहीं है।
Under Saubhagya scheme also, many households are getting free connections. One beneficiary from Sultanpur village of Sambhal district told AIR,
ये मीटर साहब मोदी सरकार जी की ओर से फ्री लगे हैं। पहले लाइट नहीं थी तो बड़ी मुश्किलें आती थी और अब उजाला हो गया तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
The ambitious schemes of electrification has brought a monumental change in the lives of poor in the state. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has declared a provisional 3-month ceasefire with the Taliban to mark the Muslim Eid al-Adha holiday, but said the truce would hold only if the insurgents reciprocated. In a televised broadcast following a recent surge in conflict, Mr. Ghani said he once again announces a ceasefire from today until the Prophet's birthday, provided that the Taliban reciprocate. The Prophet Muhammad's birthday will be celebrated on November the 21st in Afghanistan. Mr. Ghani said his administration removed all obstacles to peace with the announcement following consultations with religious scholars, political parties and civil society groups. And now news from the 18th Asian Games being held in Indonesia.
After bagging a gold and a bronze on the opening day yesterday, Indian wrestlers and shooters will look to add to the medals tally on day 2 of the events today. In wrestling, 2014 bronze medal winner and Gold Coast Commonwealth Games gold medalist Vinesh Phogat, Rio Olympics bronze medalist Sakshi Malik, Pooja Dhanda, Pinky and Sumit Malik will be vying for top honours in their respective weight categories. Bajrang Punia had given India its first gold of the games yesterday in the 65 kg division. In shooting, Ravi Kumar and Deepak Kumar are now figuring in the men's 10-meter air rifle event, while Apurvi Chandela and Ilavanil Valarivan will feature in the women's section later in the day. Apurvi and Ravi had bagged a bronze medal in the mixed team category yesterday. In badminton, the Indian men's and women's teams will be aiming to book a place in the semi-finals. While the men's team led by Kidambi Shrikant will face Indonesia, the women's team headed by PV Sindhu is now taking on Japan. The Indian men's hockey team will begin its campaign with their opening Group A match against Indonesia later today. The women's team had thrashed Indonesia 8-0 in the opener last evening. With 1 gold and 1 bronze, India is currently 9th in the medals tally. China is at the top, with Japan 2nd and South Korea 3rd. Sabi Hassan Khan, AIR News.
And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Tanvi Taneja.
Thank you, Gunmala. Kerala begins long trek back, headlines The Statesman, with the flood toll at around 370, over 7 lakh in camps, waters beginning to recede, and the focus shifting to rescue and rebuilding. The DNA writes, 10,000 being rescued as Kerala rain ebbs. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan's maiden address to the nation is given prominence in the press. The Hindustan Times, quoting him, writes, I've spoken to all of Pakistan's neighbours. There is a need for peace, and without it we cannot improve our situation. It's time to change Pakistan's destiny, he said. The Statesman, however, reports that Pakistan's new Foreign Minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, is considered a hawk and an old India beta. The Asian Age reports that Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh ticked off his cabinet colleague Navjot Singh Sidhu for hugging Pakistan Army Chief General Qamar Bajwa at a time when Indian soldiers are being martyred on the border. And finally, the Tribune reports that in 2011, renowned ecologist Madhav D. Gadgil had submitted a detailed report on ways to conserve Kerala's Western Ghats, which met with total stonewalling from administrators and the experts' worst fears coming true this year. And with that, it's back to you, Gunmala.
Thank you, Tanvi. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Kerala floods claim 14 more lives, taking the death toll to 210 in the last 10 days. Water in river starts receding. First commercial flight lands at the Kochi Naval Airport. In Karnataka, over 3,500 people evacuated so far as rescue operations continue in Kodagu district. All-party prayer meeting for former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in New Delhi today. UPA policies to promote growth led to macroeconomic instability, says Union Minister Arun Jaitley. And in the Asian Games, Indian wrestlers and shooters to vie for medals today. Men's hockey team to begin its campaign against Indonesia. And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.